सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज.
The miseries of material existence and the most hopeless conditions of life is the best possible opportunity to turn to God.
You're listening to Bare Knuckle Bhakti Shorties on the Bhakti Recovery Podcast with Jiva G, coming at you every Monday with a little spiritual something. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It's almost time, my friends. In just a few days, I'm going to get on a plane and go to India. So this will be my last shorty coming from Berlin City. Really interesting stuff going on into this new year. Happy New Year, everyone. May it bring you clarity, loving change, and peace. I've been speaking with people who are afraid of working the steps, cautious of working the steps, because somehow it becomes this huge pile of work put in front of them, which on top of all the other work that they're doing in their lives becomes almost arduous and not even thinking that it's not even doable. And what I share is this. When we enter the world of working the steps, we don't enter the world of I did the steps and now I'm cured. It is not an event only. It is mainly a process. We become willing while working the steps to enter a new way of life, a new way of approaching life, a whole new toolbox of dealing with things. You know, and every tradition has their own toolbox, and they're all valid. Every single one of them. They're all valid. Some people take to other toolboxes more than others. However, this is not a static thing. Sometimes we need to put down the screwdriver. If we just run around life with one screwdriver thinking that we can fix everything, it's going to be frustrating. We have to understand that we have a hammer, we have nails, we have chainsaws, we have a whole array of different tools. It's so important to understand that and to know that, okay, you know, so in the Bhakti tradition, we have bhajans, we have kirtans, we have chanting, we have prayer, we have pujas, deity worship. We have all kinds of tools, and those tools are perfect. However, sometimes a screwdriver is not going to fix something that needs a hammer. Or, don't put too much value in the actual hammering. It's just an example. Excuse me. Sometimes we need to pick up other tools. In a 12-step program, the answer is in every single step. And it's funny that it's called the steps because it is like walking through life, stepping through life, one step at a time. Just because, and this is the thing, just because I'm working the 12 steps, I've done my 4th, I've done my 5th, I've done my 8th, I've done my 9th. It doesn't mean that after that, I demand perfection over myself. It just means I gain clarity, drop for drop, sometimes a bucket for bucket. But it just means that I've entered a process of processing things in life through a lens I can understand. And really, most importantly, through a lens that works. And if that doesn't work, we have so many other things that we can try. And I think the main point is the willingness. And most of us have to be beaten into willingness. Not everyone, but most of us. The one thing that, for me personally, I wonder, I just thought about that this morning. You know, in our tradition, in the Bhakti tradition, we talk a lot about Maya. And I hear a lot of people talking about Maya saying, oh, it's Maya, you know. And for someone, and for a tradition that's so, that just writes in huge capital letters that we are, you know, God is a personal God and we have a personal relationship with God. It's funny how the Maya thing is sort of like impersonal, like, oh, it's Maya. It's like not taking the responsibility. I'm not saying that everyone who says that is saying that. I'm just saying there is a certain amount of not holding ourselves accountable. Maya. Do you know what Maya is? I heard this at a BRG meeting yesterday. Maya spelled backwards is I am. Maya spelled backwards is I am. So now we've taken responsibility for Maya, right? For the effects that Maya has on us. For the three gunas. Excuse me. So now that we've taken that responsibility back, what are we going to do with it? It's not like, oh, I'm, you know, and let's go back to the first step. That's like saying, and that's the funny thing. So many of us might say something like, well, I can't help it because it's just Maya. And it's just the way it is. But that's not taking responsibility. Taking responsibility is finishing that sentence. This is Maya. These are the three gunas, and these are the solutions that I have. I'm right now powerless over it, but I am not helpless, right? That's what I always say about the first step. We are powerless. We are not helpless. Maya, I am. The disease of me, my. Maya. I am. That's the disease. And if we're not using certain tools in order to get aware of that, we need to first become aware of all of that before we can even conquer it. We need to be aware. Awareness is the most important thing. We start sifting through things that we become aware of. That's what the steps help you do. The fourth and fifth, we take that inventory. So important. But once we start working a program, and what does that mean? What does that mean, people? What does it mean to work a program? It means entering a world with a different pair of glasses. It means entering the world, your own life, your own world, with a certain amount of willingness to see things in a way that cleans you and pleases God at the same time. It's not a one and done. When people say, oh yeah, you know, we do the steps and then that's like old school AA. We do the steps and everything's good. No, it ain't like that, my friends. Well, at least not for me, it is. Steps are something I need to be constantly reminded of. Every tradition in the world is like that. Otherwise, we would just go to church and go home and that would be that, right? Oh, I went to church. I'm fine now. We are in the disease of I am, and I forget I am. Maya. I am, I forget I am. I forget I am not God. I forget I am not God. constant reminders. That's the most important thing. When I made a decision to turn my will and my life over to the care of God as I understand Him, that's something I felt in the moment when I first had that inner realization about the third step. That's the third step. I make a conscious decision to turn my will and my life over to the care of God as I understand Him. When that happened for me, I felt like it was a one and done. Oh my gosh, because I was in a pink cloud. That's what we call it in the program, pink clouds. You get clean and sober and you have all these feelings of euphoria, and now it's going to be, here's my happily ever after. And in a way, yes, that's true, but the euphoric feelings, they fade. They fade. It's like they say in Bhakti tradition, Krishna will visit you and then He'll disappear. Because in that moment, we know it's real and we feel the connection and it is real. But then the I am Maya comes and we forget. So that's why keeping it fresh is always the most important thing. We keep it fresh. We keep ourselves reminded. And every day we can do that third step. Every day I can make a conscious decision. Every minute I can do it. Every second I can do it. I can just say that mantra all day, every day, if need be. But after we've gone through those steps and after we sort of get a more flexible outlook on life, because I think life isn't static, people. It's not like copy, paste, repeat. I mean, it is in a way, but sometimes those tools, sometimes we don't need, sometimes, I'm sorry, but sometimes a bhajan is not going to help me at that moment. That prayer isn't going to help me. I'm feeling more like I should be looking at something. So all I'm saying is whatever works, that's keeping us connected with God and away from I am, is what we need to be doing. It's what I need to be doing. You know, where I would like to live for the rest of my life is in step 11. I say this often. Step 11 is home. I seek through prayer, meditation, chanting of the holy names to improve my conscious contact with Krishna. Praying only for Krishna's will for me and the power to carry that out. That's it in a nutshell. That's like the 11th step is where I live and try to practice on a daily basis because it includes everything. Accepting Krishna's will for me and the power to carry that out. You know, and the intelligence to know when maybe I got to put the hammer down and pick up, a scalpel. And this is what the program has given me. Radhanath Swami told me more than once, Jiva, use your creative intelligence. And when he said that, I just thought to myself, what the hell are you talking about? What creative intelligence? And for me, that's what that means. My creative intelligence, which I have, and I know I have this. I might not have a lot, but that's something I do have, is creative intelligence. I have emotional intelligence. And I have all the tools in order to get me closer to God. What more do I want? What more do I want? And sometimes we have to use our emotional, creative intelligence to know when to put the hammer down, when to pick up another tool. And if all those tools are leading up to build the house of God, then we're in a good place, my friends. We need to get creative. And sometimes that program of whatever it is that we have used over and over again that works, we might find ourselves in a situation where it just doesn't anymore. It doesn't work. Maybe not anymore, or maybe not just for the moment. And we need to start to understand that there are millions of tools out there. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm all for using whatever it takes. Be a spiritual MacGyver. We just use what we got. Spiritual, freestyling. And that's where I like to live is within the confines of God, but using everything as content. And if you think about that, that's everything under the sun and more. And more. I mean, I'm not saying go out and, I'm going to go worship the devil and then say it's God's work. I'm not saying that, but I'm pretty sure you guys know what I mean. God is good everywhere, all the time. Krishna is love everywhere, all the time. Everything else is my human existence, my human experience in a spiritual being. Whatever it takes to remember that I am part and parcel of God, I'm going to use, my friends. I'm going to choose to use. And that's another thing. We have a choice. Now we have a choice. Now that we have knowledge, we have a choice. Sometimes we may feel like we don't have a choice. We may feel so overwhelmed by life, by the I am. We may be so overwhelmed with that we don't feel we have a choice anymore. I remember what it felt like not to have a choice. I literally remember what that felt like. Having to get up like a robot and go find my heroin, go find my dope, go find my fix. And when the drug stopped, that didn't stop. I found my fix somewhere else. I found it in people, in places, and in things. I didn't find it in drugs anymore, but I found it somewhere else. Cunning, baffling, and powerful. Cunning, baffling, and powerful, this disease of I am. This disease of addiction, this disease of isms, however you want to call it. It's really all the same thing. And I want to wake up this morning and say, I have a choice. I have a choice. Sometimes it feels like, like in a movie or whatever, where somebody's like, has a gun in their hand and they're shaking and they want to shoot somebody and people are like, put the gun down. Put it down. You don't want to do this. You don't want to. And it's like that. It's like that. The program, Krishna consciousness, it's like telling me, put the gun down, which is aiming at my own head. Or at other people's heads, depending on the mood, right? Depending how much you piss me off. Put the gun down, people. Put it down. And those moments become less and less as I stay conscious in Krishna consciousness and God consciousness and 12-step consciousness. And I see it. I see the change in myself. I see the change in others, and it inspires me. And I also see the devastation it leaves if you don't. I've seen it in myself, and I've seen it in others. Not having a choice, feeling like you don't have a choice, is the worst feeling ever. Having to get up and be robotically bossed around by my incessant need to fill a God-sized hole. That's not how I want to live anymore. I don't want to be bossed around by that. I want to be able to say, hey, not today, Satan. That's what I want to say today. I want to say, no, today I can put the gun down. I don't even need anyone to tell me. I won't even pick the gun up today. How about that? It's not even on my radar. That's where I want to be. All right, my friends. Next shorty will be from Govardhan Echo Village. And I'm also working on trying to get more interviews. It's just at the moment, so much going on. It's difficult for me to arrange all of that and to set up my equipment since I've moved. Pieces are missing. I still haven't looked for them. But I want to get back on that. I want to start to do interviews again because I know you guys are getting sick of listening to me and only me. So many people have so many amazing things to share, and their experience, strength, and hope. And it's such a huge thing. Such a big integral part of the program, and I want to represent that part of the program. That's why I keep going to meetings. I've been in the program for almost 35 years. You know, the first years I wasn't sober or clean. I kept trying. So 28 years sober and clean, and it's, guess what? It still works. Guess what? I still hear experience, strength, and hope. Guess what? I still share experience, strength, and hope. Guess what? I love when people say, like, why do you keep going to those meetings? You got 28 years clean. You don't need to go to those meetings anymore. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, let me ask you something. Why do you keep taking showers? I mean, you took a shower 28 years ago. You don't need to. You're clean now. It's hygiene, my friends. It is hygiene. It's spiritual, emotional, mental hygiene. You clean your house doesn't mean it's going to stay clean. You got to dust. You got to take care of stuff. It's freaking simple math. So keep showing up. Keep showing up. Even if you think you don't need it, other people will need to hear what you have to say, believe it or not, even if it's the smallest thing. I have never gone to a meeting and said, wow, well, that's a waste of time. Never. So that's my experience. All right, my lovies, I wish you guys, like I said, in this new year, all the love, all the patience, all the good choices, the freedom of choice, and that you feel and live in the love of Krishna. Feel it and live in it. And that's also a choice. That's work. All right. And if you feel inspired to donate to this wonderful program, which so many people beside myself are running, please feel free to donate as much or as little. We're happy and grateful over every little bit. We're really trying to push this forward. We're trying to expand and reach many people. We've already, we're reaching other mats. We're reaching other bhakti communities, which is opening more doors. And just know this, my friends. This is not ISKCON. This is not the Gaudiya Mat. This is not Bhakti Marge. This is all of us. This is everyone who's in recovery and into bhakti. That's it, man. The only requirement is the desire for recovery through a 12-step bhakti lens. And even if you don't have a 12-step bhakti lens and you still want to come, you're welcome. So please go to our page and donate. Keep a lookout for all these new things. We are Dominica and I. She is the the force behind everything. She's arranging all of the appointments for this 2026, and lots of stuff is happening. I'll be in a lot of places this next year. So please look out for that. Go to the website and check out all of the dates. She forbade me to say what until it's on the website. So I actually haven't even checked the website. So I will not say a word until it's up there. So maybe next week I'll announce them. Yeah, and that's it. All right, people. I love you all. I wish you all the best in this new year. Hare Krishna. Mwah.
Thanks for listening. I hope you liked the Monday Shorties. Don't forget to check out our full-length episodes on Thursdays. If you like what you heard, spread the word. Peace out.
सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज.
The miseries of material existence and the most hopeless conditions of life is the best possible opportunity to turn to God.